I'm going to be reacting to a Barry Gibb interview from December of 2020.
The Bee Gees!
The Bee Gees. Once again, the fabulous Bee Gees. The most exciting sound in the world.
The biggest grossing album in the history of music.
How Can You Mend a Broken Heart looks at every aspect of the Bee Gees' career, including their first number one in 1967.
And the lights all went down in Massachusetts.
And the phenomenon that was Saturday Night Fever.
Has it changed your lives? The enormous success of it.
Yes, I can safely say it's changed our lives.
In 1978, 7 US number one singles were written by the Bee Gees. Speaking from his home studio in Miami, the surviving Bee Gee, Barry Gibb, tried to explain what it was like to have that level of fame.
All right. Well, you don't really deal with it. It's just like you're in the eye of a storm. You're in the middle of something where everyone around you is crazy. I got to the point where I couldn't answer the phone. And it got to the point where people were climbing over the walls and coming into your grounds. Actually, that still happens.
Who's been in your back garden lately, then?
Well, no, there are people that walk in. Our house on the bay is probably the best position on the bay. You know, so you get unusual people with lots of money that will say, "We'll buy your house." No, it's not for sale.
Fame may have given Barry a rather nice house, but the documentary also deals with the lows.
I can't honestly come to terms with the fact that they're not here anymore.
His 3 younger brothers are all dead. Andy, a solo star, was only 30 when his lifestyle took its toll. And Barry had famously fallen out with both Morris and Robin at the times of their deaths. All had struggled with life in the limelight.
Why do you think you were the best equipped to deal with it?
We all had our demons. We all had our issues between each other. But when it came to music, all those things just disappeared. I don't know. Maybe being the eldest brother made me feel that I had responsibility to watch out for my other 3 brothers.
It'd be nice if we could find a bigger sound for that solo.
But these days, I come to realize that they probably didn't want that, you know. And I think Morris and Robin primarily didn't want that. Andy, in the end, I think felt I was getting credit for what he was doing, and that's what messes you up. That's what messes everybody up. This obsession with credit, and I think in every group, you're going to see that.
When you've got brothers singing, it's like an instrument that nobody else can buy.
Famous fans appear in the film declaring their love of the Bee Gees.
And that could very easily have just been a horn line. But instead, their voices were so sick, they're like, nah, we're going to sing it.
They were on the first wave of global pop superstardom, if you want to call it that.
But there was also a focus on the disco backlash of 1979.
How about the Bee Gees?
It's a word, and I don't understand how it became more than a word.
So at the start of the 80s, they began writing for other people.
Items in the street, that is what we are. Why do you have to be a heartbreaker? Get in the middle of a chain reaction.
Listen, I could not be happier that the music has survived, regardless of any of us.
And by the 90s, it felt like every pop act had to do their Bee Gees cover.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Tragedy. It's surely worse, and words are on my head to take your heart away.
Yeah, I would say Boyzone is probably my favorite version of our songs.
You mentioned the songs. We have learned this week that Bob Dylan has sold his back catalogue of songs for what's said to be $300 million to Universal. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of philosophy that will fly around because of that. I mean, there might come a time in your life where your own music you don't really listen to. you want to survive into your old age, and you want to be very comfortable, and you want your family to be comfortable. You don't want to be short of money if that's the case. And really, I'm sure Mr. Dillon has come to that conclusion over the years. I think he's probably a few years older than I am.
Would you follow suit? Would you consider selling your back catalogue of songs?
And maybe in a couple of years, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready to give up on making records and writing songs, and in a few years, maybe. The closer I get to 80.
I just gotta get a message to you.
In fact, in January, he'll release a new album, Greenfields. He went to Nashville and teamed up with some of the biggest names in country, who recorded their favourite Bee Gees song.
It's only words.
Dolly Parton stood in the same spot, singing. And she told me, this is where I stood when I recorded I Will Always Love You and Jolene in the same afternoon. And I'm standing on the same spot. And so that's, that's exhilarating.
Also on its way, following on from the success of Rocketman and Bohemian Rhapsody, a Bee Gees film with Steven Spielberg on board.
Where are we at with that?
Everyone's in place. It's all down to now finding the right screenplay writer. This could be a couple of years away.
Bradley Cooper was talked about for playing you. Would you be happy with that?
I don't think Bradley has ever really considered anything like that.
Who would you like to play you?
Well, I mean, I've never thought about that. But I know that if I'm involved enough with the writer, I think I can really bring out and depict my brother's personalities better than anyone else.
But there is one project on which Barry won't be embarking.
You've never had a Christmas standard. Where's the Bee Gees Christmas song?
Well, we've always avoided it. I think it was appropriate maybe 50 years ago. These days, I just think it's too much of a marketing trick.
Saturday Night Fever, yes. Festive Fever, no. Colin Patterson, BBC News.
That was a really good interview, and I thank you for requesting that. I couldn't find it earlier, so thank you for sending me the title. It's a really great interview. Really loved hearing him talk and really enjoyed him a lot. Really love Barry, and I'm glad he's doing well. And I did download the new album. I'm planning on buying the new album sometime. But I hope everybody has a great day and a good year. And also, I'm almost moved over to the house, so it won't be long before I'll be doing more reactions. Okay, see you later.